Hello, everybody out there in card making summit land. How is everybody doing today? Oh, you know what? I can't see your chats. Let me pull that up. Hi, guys. I see somebody from Pennsylvania. Okay, it says, how long did it take you to feel like you were good at this technique? What advice do you have for newbies? My advice is, first of all, just like any technique that you've tried in card making, there's a really good chance you're not going to get it on the first try. My difficulties that I had when I started were that I'm not so good with color combinations. So that plays a big part in it. So I don't know if you can see, oh, other shoulder. Back here, I invested in the, what's her name? Sarah's color cubes. And that helps me a lot with color combinations. And then from there, it took me probably, I'd say maybe if I were working solid, maybe 3 or 4 hours a day, it probably took me a week to learn the technique to where I was happy with it. You use an 1/8 inch corner alignment guide in your video. Where can you find those guides? You can find them on Etsy and on Amazon. They are called Creative Corners, I believe. And I think there's a link in my product descriptions for the video that you can link to get those creative corners. Super helpful when you're making cards. Sarah Renee Clark. Yes, that's exactly. Color combinations are hard for me too. Hi, Christine. Another good source for color combinations is Pinterest or Pinterest. I'm not sure exactly how you say that. Another thing that I do is I swatch everything so that I can put, this is my cardstock swatches. I can put those next to each other and find out what looks good to each other or good with each other. Same with markers. I swatch everything. So that is super helpful in finding out what looks good together. Every day that I can, except for when I'm on vacation. How often do you guys craft? Okay, Fran asks, how did you cut out the teddy bear? Was that with small scissors? No, I used my Brother Scan and Cut. The Brother Scan and Cut will scan the image, and you can choose to have it cut on the line, the outline of the image, or you can choose to have a border, a white border. And that's what I did, is I chose to have a white border. But the image is fairly easy. I have cut it out with scissors before, and I have these tiny itty bitty scissors. Can you see these? They're We Are Memory Keeper scissors, and they are perfect for cutting out, or for fussy cutting images. Highly recommend them. Tina asks, what all kinds of crafts do you do? I am primarily a card maker. Tags. I want to get into scrapbooking. But I spend majority of my time making cards. In the past, I've done cross stitching, making jewelry. I have a huge bead collection that's collecting dust right now because I'm so into making cards. Delina asks, it seems in the demo that the zig markers are pilling the cardstock as you colored. How do you prevent that? Actually, I didn't experience any of the pilling. The pilling usually occurs when you use the wrong paper, or use, I shouldn't say the wrong paper. Well, I guess it's the wrong paper, the paper that's not intended for the zigs. If you use the Bristol Smooth cardstock, not Bristol Vellum, Bristol Smooth cardstock, then you should not experience pilling. If you go over the same section multiple times, then you will have the pilling problem. But with the Bristol Smooth, I haven't experienced it yet. Okay, Queen, is the Brother Scan and Cut better for cutting out stamped images than a Cricut? I have no experience with the Cricut cutting out stamped images. I couldn't give any advice on that. But the Brother Scan and Cut, I purchased that so that I couldn't, or so that I didn't have to buy the coordinating dies, and that it's paid for itself because those dies are so expensive. Right, for stamped images. Maybe I don't understand the question. Okay. Yes, I listen to music when I craft. I love music. I have my Alexa, so I have oh goodness, I said it. So now she's listening. My ALEXA is what I use, or I'm watching YouTube videos. I have my computer in my craft room, and that's I need multiple sources of stimulation. You know, I don't bring any snacks into my craft room right now because I knew I would be talking a lot. I brought in a drink, but I am so afraid that I will mess up my work that I don't bring any food or drink into my craft room. It's a no food and drink zone. Okay, Linda asks, do your zig markers lose their tip, i.e. as tips fraying? I have not experienced that yet. The tips have stayed very, very pointy. In fact, they have the pointiest tip of any of the markers that I've used. So no, I have not experienced that at all. They are a quality product. Okay, Fran asks, do you prefer some stamps over other that they stamp more clearly? Some stamps over others. I know that rubber stamps, I don't know a brand that stamps more clearly than another brand, but I do believe that rubber stamps, as opposed to photopolymer, stamp more clear. Silicone and acrylic stamps are not as good as photopolymer stamps, not by far. I have been card crafting for 5 years. I started in 2018, came across a Jennifer McGuire video, and just like a lot of people, she hooked me and just reeled me right in. I was hooked with one video. She's the GOAT for sure. Darlene asks, how long have you been using zig markers and where do you get them? I have been using them for approximately 2.5 or 3 years, and I've purchase them on 2 different sites. On Amazon, they have really good deals on the sets, and on Dick Blick Art, that's a website that you can purchase singles or sets, and they have the best prices. Do I like doing dimensional cards? Thank you for the question, Angela. Yes, I love dimensional cards. In fact, what I'm working on right now, well, this isn't what I finished this card, but this is, I am loving these 3D flowers. They are so awesome. This one is from Spellbinders, and I think her name is Susan Tierney Cockburn, and she has a whole line of these 3D flower dies, and they're just, oh my goodness, they're amazing. Yeah, as far as dimensional cards like pop-up cards or fun folds, I'd love to see them. I'm learning them, but I haven't made a bunch of them. Kelly asks, what is the trick to getting a very clear stamp? When you have a brand new stamp, seasoning the stamp will help. When the stamp comes from the manufacturer, it will have like a coating on it from the manufacturing process. And what I do is I rub the coating with my hand, and I also don't put my stamp onto the paper. Like when I'm using my MISTI, I don't put the stamp onto my paper to pick up the stamp with the stamp door, because I'm worried that whatever that material is that is in the manufacturing process, I'm worried about that getting on my paper. So what I do is I put a scratch piece of paper down in the size of my card. I have one just setting aside on the side of my desk that's 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. I line it up where I want it to be on the card. Then I use my MISTI door to pick it up. Then I put the cardstock in the MISTI that I intend to stamp on. But I always stamp it like 3 or 4 times on a scratch paper to get it to start picking up that ink better. The more you stamp it, the more clear of an image you're going to get. Regina asks, what is your most favorite technique? Oh gosh. My favorite technique, the one that I'm most comfortable with, I think, is coloring with Copics. I really like to make scene cards, so I like little characters that I can put into scenes, so I use the Copics a lot. My favorite technique that I'm doing right now is those 3D flowers. I really love making those. They're so beautiful. Linda asks, enjoyed your class. Do you find Tombow markers are similar to Zig? I do not. In fact, I don't have a lot of practice with Tombows. I noticed that they, more than the Zigs, will cause paper to pill, and it could be that I'm using the wrong paper for the Tombows. But yeah, I don't think they're very similar. They have different types of nibs. The Tombow has, I believe, that really fine tip, and then the pointy tip, or I don't know very much about Tombows. Talia asks, do you use other water-soluble supplies? I've tried watercoloring, and I'm not very good at it. I like to use like distress oxides and distress inks, do like smooshing techniques, or you know what I did try is the Tim Holtz watercolor pencils. Those are so great. And I thought, okay, there's only, what is there, 36 in the set now. I wanted to try another watercolor pencil, thinking it would be similar. They are their own monster, man. They're great product. If you haven't tried them, I would suggest them highly. Darlene, are Zig markers water-based or alcohol-based? Zig markers are water-based markers. Loretta asks, what is your newest technique for card making? My newest technique is the 3D flowers. I have another card here I'll share. This one I made with the products from TLC Designs, and they are, isn't it beautiful? I love these 3D flowers. Okay, Kathy asked, but the 3D flowers would be so difficult to mail. I know, I haven't figured out a solution to that problem yet, but I'm assuming that it would have to go in a padded envelope or in a box. That's what I'm thinking. Monica asked, what type of stamps would you recommend to be the best for no-line coloring? I love flower images for no-line coloring, and I love tiny flower images. I can show you another example. Let me just grab this, take it out of the sleeve. Let's see if you can see this. They turn out so well. Little small flower images. They just look beautiful. That would be my recommendation. Delina, since zigs are water-based, why don't you use watercolor paper instead of Bristol Smooth? The reason I personally don't use watercolor paper is because I noticed that the watercolor paper absorbs the ink more, and I have less time to move it, to blend it. So on the Bristol Smooth, it sets more on the top of the paper before it absorbs. It just seems like there's more time to blend. Cheryl asks, have you ever done decoupage cards? No, I want to though. Do you have any recommendations of who I can check out? Do you have a YouTube channel? Do you know of anybody that is really good at the technique that I can research it? I would love to do decoupage. My favorite color combination. Oh, goodness. Okay. Sarah Renee Clark. I am currently making a card, and this has got to be a close, at least in the top 10. This color combination is gorgeous. It's actually number 10. The description of the colors, though, is not, it says it's apricot, puce, beige, camel, and artichoke. It calls that lime green, it calls it beige. So not a good description of the color, I don't think, but it's beautiful. Okay, Audrey asked, what techniques do you want to learn? What do I want to learn? Gosh, I guess decoupage would be one of them. I want to do more of stitching on cards. I really enjoyed it. I've only made one card that way, but I would love to be more proficient in that. Stitch cards are awesome. Sandy asks, what do you do with the cards you make? Most of the cards that I make for family members, and friends. I usually go into my card making with a person in mind, And in fact, the card that I made for the summit was a Christmas card that I made for my son last year. And I liked how it turned out so well that I recreated it for the summit. But yeah, definitely family and friends. I don't sell my cards. I have a few extras, but I was thinking of donating the rest of the cards that I haven't used. Roz asks, do you use Sarah's color cubes? Yes, since I just bought them. Gosh, it was less than a month ago, I think, and I've used them on every card that I've made since then. So yeah, Sarah's color cubes are awesome. She also has a color catalog that is less expensive. In fact, I do want to mention too, her color cubes, I thought they were $100 for the cubes and they were only $65, and there is a free shipping option. So I think before the price was higher, if you weren't in the market for them at that price, I would suggest them now since there's a free shipping option and that the price, I believe, has gone down. Shawpack asks, decoupage, try Crafter's Companion, and their card kits are easy. Oh, okay. Good advice. I will check that out. I do. I have a 12-year-old lab pit bull mix that is the biggest baby. In fact, I had to cordon off the hallway so she wouldn't sit out the door and whine while I'm doing this. She's usually right by my side. Kathy Cole asks, where are the cards from that you just showed with the flower and the colors? Okay, that was from a kit by what was that? Spellbinders. And in fact, the stamp is on, I think it's on clearance sale right now at Spellbinders. I don't remember the name of it, but I think it has love in the title. Oh, it looks like other people are having, we just had a storm come through too. I live in the desert in Pahrump, Nevada. I'm about an hour west of Las Vegas, and we just had some thunder and lightning come through, and some rain. It's still cloudy out there, but thank goodness we didn't lose electricity. Okay, Jody's Junk asks, when coloring, is there any way to fix a mistake, or do you just have to go with it with Zigs or Copics? Okay, with Zigs, there is a blender pen, and for most of the colors, you can use the blender pen, or you could use a very damp, not wet, a damp water brush or paintbrush, and just wipe away the color. You don't want to put too much effort into or too many brush strokes because you may cause the paper to peel. But also the Copics have a colorless blender that you can kind of erase your mistakes if you go out of the lines. I usually have problems with colors like reds and really dark colors. Okay, it's time to wrap up. Thanks for joining us, everyone. Please tag. There's a Facebook group. If we haven't discontinued the chat yet, I do want to say I have 5 more winners I need to draw, and I will get those over to Harriet immediately. Okay. Thank you.